put everybody in a nice moment. What exactly is that called, Chris?
This is from Fox's Animation Domination. It's Childhood Ruined.
Childhood Ruined. You got to see the animation that goes along with it. It's all up on the iBang. Head on over to the iBang right now to take a look at that. Childhood Ruined. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Hannibal Buress coming up in just a little bit. But Chris Stanley, you had something for us, and it is the girls of Seinfeld.
I've done the research. I've looked into it. This is the definitive Seinfeld famous girlfriend list. There is not one better than this anywhere. Year by year.
She had man hands. She's a virgin. She eats her peas one at a time. She's one of these low talkers, bit of a close talker. She went out with no man. She's too good.
So basically what you're saying is 95% of the population is undateable?
Undateable!
The famous girlfriends of Seinfeld.
So this is the famous girlfriends of Seinfeld. Now, I don't know who did the casting for the Seinfeld show, but they did an incredible job because so many of the girls of Seinfeld, his girlfriends, went on to have big careers.
There's no show with a better series of one-off characters because most of these girlfriends lasted an episode.
Yeah, he never had any real serious girlfriends.
No, never. I mean, Janine Garofalo, she showed up for 2 episodes, and in the beginning of the second episode she was in, they had a mutual breakup. That was in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
That same season was with Man Hands, a.k.a. Jillian. She went on to star in True Blood. She became a huge star in this HBO series afterwards.
All right, well, who was his first famous girlfriend on the show?
That was in 91 with Tawny Katane.
And that was a one-off. That was a chess game with his penis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when she was great in bed.
I would say that Tawny Katane was already famous before he brought her on the show.
There were a couple that had worked, had work in Hollywood, but
this is the first one. 91, you only had Tawny Katane.
Yeah.
92, we got 2 famous ones: Catherine Keener, and who was the other one?
Jane Leeves, who became Daphne on Frasier.
What was her part on the show?
She was the Virgin. Jane Leeves was the Virgin.
That was actually a classic storyline, too.
Oh, yeah. She was in probably top 5 Seinfeld episodes all time.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think if people think of Seinfeld, they're thinking of the Virgin episode and the bet.
Okay.
Who can, go stand out without masturbating the longest.
All right, 93, who do we have?
Anna Gunn, who was 93. She's a Seinfeld girlfriend, but in the last few years, she was the wife on Breaking Bad, and she's never been bigger.
What did she do on Seinfeld?
She was in the episode The Glasses, and she was the one that George thought was kissing Jerry's cousin.
Oh, yeah. Another classic episode. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
All right, who else is 93?
Then there was Paula Marshall, who was in the episode The Outing, when she was the NYU student who thought they were gay.
No, she wasn't a girlfriend, though, was she?
He ended up making out with her and almost getting with her.
All right, good call.
And she went on to... She was Gary on Jay Moore's sitcom, Gary Unmarried. She was his ex-wife. And she was on Spin City.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she's had a great career afterwards.
After that, Terry Hatcher, they're real and they're spectacular. And, of course, she was... Lois and Clark. And then Jennifer Coolidge, who I didn't even know that was her until years later.
Yeah, I didn't realize either. She was the masseuse.
Yeah.
And she refused to give Jerry a massage.
94 was the Courtney Cox year, that was Jerry's pretend wife. Jamie Gertz was that year. She couldn't spare a square, which, by the way, may be my favorite episode.
Oh, she was brilliant. I mean, she went on to Dream On, ER, Entourage.
Entourage?
Entourage.
95, who do we got?
This was Kathleen Lanassa. She was the cop who Jerry lied to about the Melrose Place, watching Melrose Place. And she went on to 2.5 Men, Big Love, Judging Amy. So she had a great career after that in the 95 year.
All right, 96, you already brought up Janine Garofalo, really one of the best. She was like kind of girl Jerry. Then Kristen Bauer, which one was she in?
She was Man Hands. Kristen Bauer was Man Hands.
Okay. 97, suddenly it explodes.
It gets crazy. Looking into this, 1997, Jerry Seinfeld crushed. I mean, he destroyed on the amount of famous women he was getting on that series.
They weren't really famous then.
No, this was for most of them, it was their first shot. Christine Taylor was a girlfriend in the Van Buren Boys episode.
She hadn't done the Brady Bunch movie yet?
No, she hadn't.
She was the one who went bald, right?
No, she didn't go bald. She was the loser. She was the one that she seemed nice on the surface, but everyone called her a loser.
I think if you go back and check that, no, wasn't she with George once and she shaved her head? Or was it Jerry and she shaved her head? No one remembers. Oh, fuck, I got her confused. She shaved her head on Friends. I got it confused. She shaved her head on Friends.
And there was that one bald girl that George went out with.
Right. All right. So she was the loser. Why?
No one could tell. And at the end, he eventually broke up with her because his parents liked her so much.
All right, who else did we have?
Melinda Clark, the Muffin Tops episode.
Classic episode.
She broke up with Jerry because he started growing hair on his chest again. And he refused to not do it anymore.
Well, he was, he was actually turning into a werewolf.
She got trapped on that Kramer tour bus, right?
Yeah, she got trapped on that tour bus when he was trying to drop off Muffin Tops. And she went on to CSI. She was Nikita on the Nikita TV show. She was on the OC. So she had a great career. And then there was Deborah Messing, who was the raging anti-Semite in the Anti-Dentite episode, which I think is one of the best lines ever on the best closing lines on the show ever.
What was that?
When she was like, well, also the Jews and the blacks, when talking about people that she disliked.
All right, who else in 97?
Amanda Peet.
Great.
The Summer of George episode, when George was dating her also with Jerry, or he was Jerry's assistant to try to so he could actually manage.
Well,
dealing
because
with her.
she was dating another guy, and that's why Jerry was weirded out by it. That he would go over the house and there would be another dude there.
There was just a dude there, just a generic dude.
This whole list doesn't make any sense. That over this whole show, he's gotten all these hot chicks, but he's not like the millionaire Jerry Seinfeld like he is in real life. I mean, that would make sense, but he's pulling all these girls just as like a okay comedian on the show. Not like, stand-up wise, but just he's not the Jerry Seinfeld he is on the show.
So you're saying he wouldn't get all these chicks?
Yeah, there's no way he would be able to get all these women. He's not driving a Porsche in the show.
They weren't famous women. It would be one thing if they were famous women, but they weren't. Who else you got, Chris?
After Amanda Peet, there was Lauren Graham, who you might know from Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah, she's really cute, too.
Oh, yeah, she's great. She was also in Bad Santa as the hot elf banging Billy Bob Thornton. She broke up with Jerry because of her speed dial.
Oh, he was too low on the speed dial or something?
And eventually her mother got in on the act as well.
Who else?
Kristen Davis from Sex and the City. Before she had done anything. And she wanted to blow up on that show. He broke up with her because of the nasty old toothbrush that dropped into a toilet. And he was pulling this clean freak thing.
That just makes me want to date her even more.
What?
Said she threw her in the toilet?
Yeah, it's like, okay, she's really hot and she's willing to shave with a toilet brush, or brush with a toilet brush. Sure, let's lock it down. I'll propose right there in the bathroom.
I know, you're still into crazy pussy. It'll freak you in a few years, though.
He's in the crazy dick, is what he's
All right, let's not make gay being the worst thing. Now you both have, and I got Fez working here. All right, what else?
And then here's a girl that was somewhat famous before she went on Seinfeld, Lori Loughlin. She was on Full House.
Okay.
And then she got the breakup because she gave away Jerry's Knicks tickets. So she didn't want, he was like, that's it, I'm not dealing with that. But she was one of the few that actually had credits before actually ending up on Seinfeld.
So this all runs out in 97.
Yeah. 97 year is the last year he had super famous girlfriends. or girlfriends who went on to be super famous.
And so the show went on, but they somehow got a new casting director, and they stopped picking the right girls.
Yeah, they couldn't do shit. I mean, I saw the episode the other night where he was dating the girl who had all the toys, and he knocked her out to play with them. Not famous. She was just some pretty face.
Here's Scott in Boston. Scott, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's going on, boys? Fuck it. I don't think I like Shelby 2 times over here shitting on Jerry Seinfeld saying he can't get any broads. The kid doesn't have a funny bone in his body. The self-proclaimed comedy nerd just has dudes that want to fuck his face.
All right, that's uncomfortably true. Who is the definitive Seinfeld girlfriend? That's what you got to see from this list. Who would you pick, Chris?
I would pick Terry Hatcher. She's the definitive one. I think if people think of a Seinfeld girlfriend, they're going to think Terry Hatcher. They're real and they're spectacular. Just that scene of her before she walks out is like an iconic scene from television.
866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Fez, why are you giving a bad look right now?
Because I was thinking Terry Hatcher.
Well, he didn't know that you thought that.
No, I guess he didn't.
Why would you protect him when I heard you say it in front of him before, and he literally stole it line for line for line for you? All right, Shelby, who would you pick as the definitive?
I don't even know if I can pick a definitive. I've barely even seen this overrated show.
Why are you being honest or are you being trolly?
I'm being honest.
You've never watched Seinfeld?
I've seen like 4 or 5 episodes. It's look at these little idiosyncrasies we have in our everyday lives. Oh,
yes.
Look, I double dip a chip too, honey. Come in here. Your brother Bill did that at the barbecue last year, didn't he?
Why are you acting like
God.
that? That's not fucking funny. Double dip and chip is one of my favorite.
But
You don't dip. You went and double dipped.
Yeah, sure, it's referenced a lot, but do people burst out laughing, or they go, "Oh,
I burst out laughing."
It's like on that Seinfeld episode, right?
Let me tell you something, and this is a fucking true story. I remember when Seinfeld was in first run. When it was over, my phone would ring, and my buddy and I would sit and discuss the entire episode. It was like fucking thrilling when it was Seinfeld night.
I remember when they were going to reveal Kramer's name. That was like a giant event around my house. And remember my elementary school teacher was talking about it. Like, did you see Seinfeld last night? To children. Weird.
Now, do you not like Curb?
No, I like Curb. That seems like, they make it. It's like it's funnier than just like him. Oh, hey, yeah, you can't spare a square. Oh, that happens in real life.
Can't Spare a Square was a really funny episode.
You don't find the humor in this. I can't believe he hasn't seen He's seen 4 episodes.
Well, let me just say this, and this is why I feel like I'm being trolled. I've never even ran into anybody who doesn't like Seinfeld. Seinfeld is considered the funniest sitcom of all time.
I like the other characters on the show, but even just calling it Seinfeld. Hey, how about you just push him to the back? Let's see a little more Kramer and Elaine. Enough of his boring storyline.
Yeah, but, he was the guy he was the center of it. Like Barney Miller didn't get as many jokes because he was the center. Dick Van Dyke, the center. Newhart, the center. You're the center guy. You're not going to be as wacky. You're playing, the everyman.
And in the show, those three other characters had no reason to be hanging out with each other unless Jerry was there.
By the way, if I'm going to say my favorite Seinfeld girl has got to be Elaine. Because Elaine, to me, is a dream girl. Here's Jason. You're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, it's great that you just said that. I was thinking this whole conversation, there was a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend that Jerry had that was on every single episode. Best girlfriend ever, it was Elaine. And I don't know, I think one of the best episodes, and you tell me if you think this, was the Spongeworthy.
Oh, yeah, Spongeworthy.
Yeah, I love
you ever see Spongeworthy, Shelby?
Have not. Sure, it's terrible.
No, it's great.
Here's Steve. Steve, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Yes, I think that Shelby is just being a contrarian for being a contrarian's sake. There's no way that he hates this show this much. It's impossible.
Wait, let me see what some of the people are writing on the iBang. Here is Farrell, who said What about man hands? Hot girl with man hands.
Man hands is there.
What did she want to do?
She was on True Blood. She was on like every season of True Blood.
Nut Peter says, are these people really that famous?
Every one of these women went on to have great careers.
Fagiota says, I recently saw Sarah Silverman as Kramer's girlfriend.
Yeah.
How come he didn't put her up?
She's not a Jerry Seinfeld girlfriend. These are women that dated Jerry.
This one says, what about Margaret, Newman's ex, who Jerry started dating?
Does not count.
She was fucking Nancy Taylor in Groundhog Day.
Didn't make it.
And then Cardiff Giant 11 says, Gurion sucks. Pepper, however, does not. Nice job putting together this list. Andy in Boston, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Wow, this is the first time I've ever wanted to back Shelby up, man. I got to tell you, I have an incredible sense of humor. Big show buff, big movie buff. Never, ever, ever liked Seinfeld, man. And Chris, the fact that your family had a party for Seinfeld, you went down a notch on my belt, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no.
What a loser.
Oh, no, Andy, I'm fucking down his list.
Just relax here. Oh, he went. I wanted to fucking talk to him about how could you not like Seinfeld? I've never even run into people like this. Mike, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, you remember, I don't know, a few months back before you guys left the other station, Shelby was, saying some stuff about Opie and Anthony. And you put a gag order on him. I think he needs a little gag order on him now. And he's not
the thing is, I'm actually more curious of somebody who likes comedy the way you claim you do, and you not only dislike the Seinfeld sitcom, you are telling us that you hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst one ever, but it's just beloved. Like, people watch it over and over again, just wanting to hear the same little references over and over. I mean, I don't know. That's not something I do. Just to watch the same thing. I know what's going to happen, yet I just watch it over and over again.
All right, here's, but you just told us that you haven't even watched the show.
Yeah,
I don't know which way you're going here.
Yeah,
you either saw it 4 or 5 times, or you've seen it all. I'm gonna say that you're lying about seeing it 4 or 5 times.
No, I've given it a try, and I can't get into it. And
here's one here. Marley Matlin from '93 was fucking huge. She was a death chick reading lips at the party. That's true, Hicks.
I didn't count her as a girlfriend. Wait, what? She was dating Kramer.
Might be true. She might not have been with him. Sponge Steve says, finally Hicks brings up something that isn't Bitcoin or 3D printing. All right, let's go over here to Richard. Richard, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron, thanks for taking my call, buddy.
That's my job.
Matlin was not dating George. George was using her to try and find out what some other chick was saying about him. Now, last week you
Who
guys
was she dating?
It was like maybe Jerry, but not really. He was sort of affiliated through some kind of show business thing with her.
Okay.
She had her little. Now, last week you claimed that Jerry never banged Elaine, and I tried to call in.
Oh, we did.
He did have an
He did bang her before, of course, the show started, and then once too they tried to give it a try.
Yeah, just friends who have sex.
Yeah, they tried to have it all. Justin, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
What's up, guys? Hey, listen, I just wanted to say that I love Shelby in this position right now. I love how he's hating on Seinfeld. I hate when I'm hanging out with a bunch of my friends and during any type of situation, somebody goes, oh, remember when Kramer or Elaine did this in Seinfeld? The first thing I think of is The Sopranos when Tony goes, remember when it's the lowest form of conversation.
He had the right idea, that Tony Soprano.
What's the worst kind of conversation?
The remember when.
So just like having a reference and yelling it out? Fez, do you hate when people do that too?
Holy shit, Fez has just disappeared.
I didn't know that he wasn't here.
I thought this was Monday.
I wish. No way, he's too beloved. I've told everyone stop either worrying or getting excited. It's not Fez is staying. Tom, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
What's going on,
guys. Two things. One, I think I heard Pepper refer to Kramer as Cosmos.
Cosmo.
And
Great show these days.
second thing, you guys are loving on Elaine. Something I never knew about Julie Louis-Dreyfus that I recently stumbled upon. You know, she comes from serious.
Yes, we all know that story. Jeez. You know what? When you hang out with your Rube friends, these might be really interesting things.
We all have access to Wikipedia, sir.
Don, Wikipedia. Phil and Nolan, Joe on the Run of Fez show.
What's going on, Ronnie B? I don't think Shelby just realizes how much his own quirky humor is a product of that Seinfeld generation, you know. And I think he's kind of shooting himself in the foot, man. I mean, his own humor is Seinfeld kind of humor, man. So I don't get it.
All right, I'm reading some stuff on the iBang. Here's Galactic Traveler. Seinfeld, more like Snorfell. Jerry from Buffalo. I'm with Shelby. I've seen about 10 episodes. The show does nothing for me. I smell bit says Shelby is stealing Fez's bit as a hater. Sent to her fan club says fire that hipster faggot Shelby. Die of cancer shit dick. Shelby is just worried because his friends won't think he's cool.
I don't have any friends, sir, so there's nothing to worry about.
Maverick, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Ronnie, I agree with Shelby to a point. I don't hate the show, but I just don't get the humor. I'm 32 years old, and I want to love the show because all the references Anthony always does, and I just can't get it. I don't know what it is.
I am stunned. I mean, obviously the show wasn't watched by 100% of the people. Jerk Story Sean, who goes out of his way to name his Twitter name after Seinfeld, says, fuck Shelby, watch Portlandia.
Portlandia rules.
You do love Portlandia.
Watch it every day.
Well, it's not on every day.
I downloaded iTunes season past that shit.
Such a wise ass. Smoke, you're on the Run of Fez show.
What's up, buddies? Hey, the deaf girl was a ball girl at the U.S. Open, and she was dating Jerry. Remember, Kramer went out for ball boy at the U.S. Open, the tennis match?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was dating Jerry. And Terry Hatcher cannot be the definitive girl because she ends up dating Jackie Childs, and once you go black, you can't come back.
Let's go over here to Dave in Tennessee.
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
This was with Calvin
First of
Klein.
all, I'm finding out today, it's like finding out people don't like milkshakes.
Thank you.
Hey, you don't like Seinfeld. It just blows my mind. But one of the girls I didn't hear Pepper mention. Do you remember the belly button? Hello.
Hello. Yeah, she wasn't famous after the show or before. She was the one off.
She should be famous just from that.
Well, this isn't even her. That was just her belly button.
I can't even get into his comedians in cars getting coffee. I mean, sure, it's fun to see all these comedians come on and tell these stories, but then he does his whole montage with a car at the beginning, as if that's the reason people are actually watching. No one's saying, "Hey, did you hear that?"
All right, now you've taken it from running down the Seinfeld sitcom that you don't get it. You're now acting like you have a problem with Jerry.
I kind of do have a problem with Jerry. He stole David Brenner's act.
Jesus. You didn't even know who David Brenner was until he died. Here's Dan. Dan, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, Ron, big fan.
Yeah.
Hey, definitive Seinfeld girlfriend, how about Mulva?
She's actually one of the great ones.
She's a great one, but she didn't make this list because she wasn't a famous Seinfeld girlfriend.
You know that you stole Fez's bit completely, right? And he's nowhere even near. I don't know where Fez went. I know he's not in the other room.
No.
I believe he went to go check on a guest.
Now you won't say the name.
This is why Gil has a lot of problems with Fez. Steve, you're on the Run of Fez show. Steve in New Mexico.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
First off, when something's as big as Jerry got his show and everything, there's always going to be some asshole like Shelby who doesn't like it, just not to like what everybody else likes.
I guess. Like, here's what Sarah McPence wrote about him. I'm Shelby. I don't even like cars. Everything sucks. Wah.
Oh. Seinfeld just isn't funny. It's just because...
The deaf girl was dating Jerry, and she broke up with Jerry because he tried to set up a date at 6 o'clock, and she read his lips and thought he was saying sex. How about sex? So the deaf girl was dating Jerry.
Well, he was going to attempt to date her, but then because of the misread,
Why
it didn't
couldn't you just
happen.
give her the chance? I mean, he didn't have didn't have real sex. Brick, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Ron, sorry, it's Butch, Ron.
All right, go ahead, Butch.
Hey, Megan Mullally, Courtney Cox, Rick Coolidge, and Jamie Gertz, others all ended up getting plastic surgery after the show, before they got famous.
Jerry fucked them up.
No, he put him on the path to fucking...
Oh, they got the Seinfeld money, and then they got the Seinfeld money and went to the doc.
Yeah, that Seinfeld money was probably about $1,200.
I mean, come on. They were on for one episode.
John, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, I had a question maybe Shelby can answer. Maybe it was me, but wasn't all of Jerry's love interests Jewish?
A lot of them were. Are you being a racist?
I don't know.
Are you being a racist, Shelby?
I'm not hating on his love interests. Hating on
You
Jerry
know,
himself.
Hicks has put something together.
Yeah.
It took a while.
A definitive
There's
list.
Fez back.
I'm right here.
Gil was here looking for you. He'd like his host to be on air, is what he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had some things I'd like from Gil, too.
Whoa. Sexually?
No, not at all.
All right, Donald, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hello, Ronnie.
Hello.
Hello, Fezzy.
Hello.
Shelby, you don't know what the hell you're even talking about. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
See, he did all the references.
Yay.
Six Seinfeld references.
Yeah, we've heard those before. Aren't they funny?
I don't know why you're saying it that way. You wouldn't be repeating them if they weren't funny.
Yeah, they were funny at the time, but after you repeat them like 50 times.
All right, so here's the thing. It went from not funny at the time to now, okay, it was funny, but people have been repeating it so much that it becomes non-funny.
Yeah, people, I'm not saying people can't think it's funny. I mean, they think it's funny, but is it funny after you repeated the 50 times?
Do you think it's funny? Could you sit down and watch Seinfeld and say, this is an enjoyable show?
Not really. I'd skip it.
It's a slap in the face of all things funny.
He's contrarian, that's all. He's trolling us. This is a troll job.
I don't want to get trolled over and over again.
Well, you got to be a baby about it. Why can't you just be a man? Here's Wilson. Wilson, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm wondering if this is just a generational thing. Like, I don't know how old was Shelby when Seinfeld started?
Well, he was just about being born. But at the same time, is there any sitcoms you can go back and watch? Can you watch the Newhart Show and think it's funny?
Yeah.
Can you watch MASH and think it's funny?
I've actually tried to watch MASH. Can't really get into it.
All right, I'm doubly bad. MASH and Seinfeld. What's the funniest TV show ever?
I do enjoy that 30 Rock.
That show's based on Seinfeld.